G'day guys, welcome to Aussievision. This is Craig here, and tonight I have the absolute pleasure of being joined by Queens of Austria and presidents of the Edgar Allan Poe Fan Society. It is Teya and Salena. How are you ladies?
Hi,
Hello,
nice
we're
to meet you,
good.
Craig.
Nice to meet you.
Absolute pleasure to meet you as well. You guys have had such a busy couple of weeks. You've been in Madrid, you've been in London, you've been in Amsterdam. How are you finding the energy to keep going at this point?
I feel like the fans give us like all the energy we need, because we come to the party like very knackered from the flight and stuff like that. And once you get in touch with them and like all their energy, it kind of translates. So I feel like that's probably the only way how we kept going these last few weeks.
I thought we would be sleepy, but as Teya said, the whole energy, the whole love, all the hugs, that we received like from the beginning of coming to Madrid, it was crazy. It was so beautiful.
And you can really see that adrenaline and that energy coming through on screen, even from over here on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
I just want to take a step back at the start. You guys, I think, have known each other a little while. I understand you did a TV show in Austria together a couple of years ago. But can you tell me a little bit about how you came together and where the decision came to participate at Eurovision together?
Yeah, we met, as you said, at a casting show in Austria at Starmania like 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, we're like friends, and we also we have like a big friend group that we're in. And after 1.5 years, we started to work with each other, which is like a long time in between. We were like always fans, and we were always talking about Eurovision. That's what connected us a lot. And after 1.5 years, we started to write a song, actually in a songwriting camp for me for Eurovision. And the same day, we started writing Edgar as well. First, as not as a joke, but to make people laugh during the listening session in the evening. But yeah, turned out that our manager Pele, he said that we have to send it to Eurovision, and that's how everything started.
I was going to say, these songwriting camps have become kind of legendary among fans, but I don't think many of us know what actually happens at them. So, like, what actually happens at a songwriting camp? Did you arrive? You said you sort of created Edgar. Edgar was born at this songwriting camp, but what does that look like?
So basically, every camp has an A&R, which name drops in our song as well.
I've heard that one.
The A&R is the person who organizes the camp. He or she, whoever, they invite artists, songwriters, and producers into a camp. It's always about like 20 or 30 people. And the camps usually go on for about 3 days. And there's camps for everything. There's camps for dance music, for specific artists, for albums and stuff. But a lot of the time, camps are Eurovision camps, in which there's going to be artists that want to go to Eurovision, but also just like songwriters that just generally write for Eurovision. And every morning you get a briefing. You get put into a group together. It's mostly like 3 people, so like a songwriter, a producer, and an artist. And the briefing's always just write something for Eurovision, write a Eurovision hit that isn't over 3 minutes, that doesn't have any cuss words in it, but basically write something that feels right. Because I feel like if you write specifically for Eurovision, it's probably not going to work out a lot of the time. But writing something that's very authentic to the artist that's in the room usually works out great. And that's how we started. So Salena was the artist, I was the songwriter, and our producer Ronnie, he was producing in the session. And we originally wrote Salena because she was one of the artists talked about going to Eurovision this year for Austria. So we had a great day of writing, and then because it was so much fun and we had an hour left before the listening session, which is where all the participants of the camp get together, have dinner, and listen to the songs from that day. we thought, okay, let's just keep going and write something that is very authentic to us and just is fun, basically. So we did not have Eurovision in mind, and apparently that was the winning factor for us.
Yeah, 100%. You mentioned cuss words, but I have heard on the grapevine that Who the Hell is Edgar apparently had some cuss words in it originally. Is that true? Because as Australians, we obviously love a good swear word down here.
We're gonna give you some. Yeah, actually, we had like Who the Hell is Edgar was Who the Fuck is Edgar, because Ronnie, our producer, he asked who the fuck is Edgar, because Teya was like, it is Edgar Allan Poe, and then yeah, you know, and he was like, who the fuck is Edgar? And we said, oh, we're gonna put that in the song, definitely, but you know, in a nicer way. And also like we had, and I think he can resist in the first verse, we had like and he's riding like a bitch, so but that's it, I guess. I think that's it. We haven't had more cuss words.
Can we expect the sort of explicit version on Spotify anytime, or?
Probably not.
No, I don't think so.
No, probably not. In the end, I feel like we like the Who the Hell a lot more anyways, because I feel like it definitely translates the message more. People usually say like, who the hell is this, or who the hell does do they think they are, you know? So it makes a lot more sense that it is hell, but yes, originally it was fuck.
I will say, down here in Australia, who the hell is not the more common variation on that. We do love a good swear word, but I will say you guys have been quite open that this song's inspired by your experiences as women in the music industry. So did you start from there, or did Edgar Allan Poe come first, or which way did this what was the creative process in building this?
Well, it started with the thing that Teya just improvised the first lines of the funny song, you know?
Yeah.
And she was like, there's a ghost in my body and he's a lyricist. It is Edgar Allan Poe. And I was like, why Edgar? And she can't. I don't know if you can explain it. We were talking about it. Maybe it's because the syllables were matching, you know, like da 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 da. Like we were talking about a ghost, but it could have been something else. She was like Edgar Allan Poe, and that's how the idea was kind of like born.
Yeah, I can't really explain how and why it happened, but I feel like it plays into the conversation that we had with Aussievision the night before we wrote it. Which was when you write a really good song, it feels like it flows through you, like from the back of your head into your hands, like from somewhere above, and it doesn't feel like your work. So that was the initial igniter of what we wanted to say, because the next day, basically, when we wrote the song for Salena, which was also very quick and very fitting, and we loved the song, and we were like, this is exactly what we talked about yesterday with Elsie, and I was like, let's just put that into a song. Let's just write something about a ghostwriter, basically. And that's how it started. And Edgar Allan Poe came out of nowhere. And we have to admit, like, this whole idea of what we really want to say, it did come a bit later, because at first it really was just about ghostwriting and not being taken seriously as female writers, because of course you have to have a man that writes it for you, you know? So when the song really was well received at the listening session, Pelle, our manager, was like, you have to finish it. And then we kind of researched a bit about Edgar, and it turned out that he was the first American writer ever to live off of writing alone, which resulted in a financially difficult life. And that's how the idea for the 0.003 was born.
I was going to say, the message has clearly resonated both with fans and more generally. Do you have a plan for how you're going to sort of promote that or amplify that message while you're in Liverpool? Is it going to be through the staging or like promotion, or are you just going to sort of let the song speak for itself?
Yeah,
actually, that's a good question. Yeah.
I feel
like talk about this yet.
I'm glad I could inspire this for you.
No, thank you, because this is like, there are so many questions we didn't go through, and actually I think this is one of them.
Well, yeah, I think so. You know what? I feel like we're very much aware that not everyone is gonna be like your average Eurovision fan that really researches and reads into it.
Mhm.
So I feel like for somebody who sees the song for the first time and listens to the song for the first time on May 11th when we are on, it's gonna be a whole what the fuck is that moment, because you just cannot there is a certain complexity to it that you just have to explain or read into, especially if you're not from the music business. I feel like people who are from the music business are definitely gonna get it, but if you're not, it's just something that you're not used to, so it's definitely normal that you don't get it at first. So what we kind of wanted to do, instead of like transporting the music video onto the stage, which would have been impossible to have that many outfit changes and really get the point across. That's what you can do with a music video, where you have more time and more cuts and stuff. But on stage, we just really wanted to play into this whole critique towards the music business and what the music industry does, especially with female artists and female writers. So that's something what we want to portray on stage. We still don't know if it's gonna get through to people and if people are gonna like it and stuff, but I feel like that's been our idea, and we're pretty happy with it, and we're just gonna try and see if it works and just pray it does.
I think the great thing about this song is that it works on both levels. Like, if you're someone just watching on the night, you can enjoy the fun sort of dance number. But then if you pay attention and like you're listening closely, you get the additional layers, which is what's so great about what you've done here. I did want to ask, sorry. No.
No, we just said thank you.
No, that's yeah, thanks. That's actually what we always say about it. It's totally fine if people just want to dance to the song, you know, and they just feel the vibe of it, but doesn't have like, I don't know, they don't want to go through the lyrics and analyze everything. That's totally fine. That's actually what we want as well. So but
I mean,
if someone analyzes, we're
says.
grateful as well. Yeah,
100%.
that's actually it.
I wanted to ask about the fan reaction, because I will say you guys have sort of run the gauntlet of like all the fan reactions this season. Like, there was that snippet that dropped in January, which seemed quite traumatic for you. I'm sorry. And now you guys are like the favorites to win your semi-final, one of the favorites to win Eurovision. How has it been being on the receiving end of like such an intense fan reaction? It seems so stressful to me sitting here.
You know what? It's been incredible for us. It definitely is a childhood dream coming true right now, and we did not expect this turnout to happen.
Not at all.
Especially after the leak, right? After the leak, we were like, "Oh,
yeah,
maybe."
Was that out of nowhere, or was that like something you were expecting?
No, it was out of nowhere.
Gosh, you poor things. I'm so sorry that you had to go through that.
No, it's fine. You know what? We were in the studio at the moment together in Switzerland with Pelle, our manager, and Ronnie, the producer, and they were like doing the production. We were sitting back after recording like the final vocals, and then we look at our phones, and suddenly on Instagram there's like 50 new Eurovision people following us, and we're like, this does not look good. We haven't been
There's
announced
something
yet.
wrong.
Oh no.
There's something wrong. And because we're big Eurovision fans ourselves, we knew the place to go to was Twitter. So
is it the place to go to, or is it the place to avoid at all costs? That's the real question.
Depends actually.
We avoided it for a long time, didn't we? We just joined Twitter after like it went in Madrid, because we were pretty scared, to be honest with you.
You guys have been using it so well as well. The other thing is, like, even if the leak was really difficult, it meant that everyone I knew when your song came out, like, stopped what they were doing. Like, I was at work and I was supposed to be on a meeting, and I was like, sorry, I'm busy. I need to run to the loo, so I could like watch your song when it came out, because everyone was so excited to see what was going to happen with the Poe girls. So well done.
The Poe girls. Why didn't we do anything with the Poe? We have to do more with the Poe. You know, like the Poe girls.
We're gonna get merch going. I want a jumper. I want a t-shirt.
Yes.
I won't hold you up.
The Poe girls. The Power Poe girls.
I'm from the city which is named after the Powerpuff Girls town, so perfect time.
What?
I grew up in Townsville, which is the city of Townsville from the Powerpuff Girls. It's a place. It's a real place in Australia.
We dressed up. For Halloween, we dressed up as the Powerpuff Girls.
Oh my god! Now that's another sign. The Powerpuff Girls and the
Look, I'm inspired. We've got this coming. I'm excited to see what's coming in the next couple of weeks. Look, I won't hold you guys up too much longer, just because I know you're really busy, but I do have a couple more questions. So, last couple, what's the plan after Eurovision? Is this a stepping stone for you, or is this like the dream that you've always been pursuing? Do you have something that you're sort of chasing in your career more broadly after Eurovision, or is this it for you guys?
Well, first, it is a childhood dream coming true. That's the main thing for us. We already feel like winners just because we're there, and afterwards, it depends how we feel like what we're doing. I mean, we're both like independent artists, so we have our own stuff as well going on, but we're very spontaneous, I would say, and we always listen to our heart and our feeling, you know. So it means if we decide to do something together afterwards, it will be spontaneous, I guess. So it's in the stars, written in the stars.
Yeah, if it feels authentic, we're definitely gonna go for it, because the one thing that's been consistent in our journey so far has been we always just went with our gut feeling regarding anything, like press pictures to music video to staging to everything. Like we just do what feels right, and if it feels right, then yes, we're absolutely going to go for it, and if it doesn't, then we're always going to support each other. I mean, it's pretty it's definitely going to be a bit more difficult after Eurovision to continue working so closely together, just because I'm moving to Berlin right after Eurovision and Selena's going to stay in Vienna. So yeah,
maybe
we're kind of trying to figure out, or maybe you can move in with me in Berlin.
You're not going to let it go,
I would
Salena.
love to, darling, but I had my time in Berlin and I'm not going to go back to Berlin. I love to visit you a lot, but I'm not going to move there again.
Okay.
What's been the thing that you've liked or respected for each of you about the other one the most through this collaboration? Like, what have you respected the most about your artistry of the other one in the group?
Well, I've said this a few times, but Teya is like one of the people who can like mix the private stuff and the business stuff very well. I'm more focused on one thing, you know, like sometimes I have some private things going on and I'm like totally focused on the private stuff, and then I'm more focused on the work stuff, the business stuff, and I forget my friends in a way. But she has like the perfect balance. She will always be there for her friends even though she's busy as hell. So I think this is like one thing I really adore about Teya and love about her, because she has the perfect mixture.
What about you, Teya?
A lot of things actually. To be honest, we just like right after London, we had a conversation about how we're so grateful that we can do this together, and I feel like it's just much more fun and just perfect to share this experience, because you know, Selena's probably a lot more outgoing than I am, and she always gets me out of my shell, and she always is very like bubbly and happy, and yeah, it's always just very nice to have her around and to share this with her. And I feel like the support that we give each other, it's you know, just perfect for this stressful environment. So I guess we're just enjoying all of this a lot more than we would have if we went by ourselves.
That's so wonderful to hear. Look, I will let you guys go, but I have one last question, which is always our last question. Have you ever visited Australia? Do you have any plans? Can we expect to see you rocking the streets of Melbourne and Sydney anytime soon for a few gigs?
Now we have to, because we love Voyager.
Oh yeah, we love them. Jesus Christ,
yeah, we have to visit
so
Voyager
great.
now.
Look, we can look forward to. Have you met Voyager at least at one of the pre-parties? What did you think of them?
Yeah. We always see them. I'm always searching for them if they're so. For real, the parties, the pre-parties were so much fun. and I think like 60-70% because of them, because they're so funny. I really have to say that. They have to hear that. They're so funny. They're so lovely. It's amazing people.
Voyager,
we freaking love Voyager.
Voyager, if you're watching, you've got fans here in Austria. Teya and Salena,
I swear.
Teya and Salena, thank you so much for making time to speak with us down here in Australia. We're so grateful. All the best in Liverpool. We're all rooting for you down here, Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, and we can't wait to see what you translate onto the stage in May. Thank you so much. Cheers.
Thanks so much. It's been so much fun.
Cheers, bye.
Thank you.